On the 22nd of March, World Water Day will be celebrated globally. However, South Africa has little to celebrate. That's according to Harold Smook, who is a registered professional engineering technologist in the country. Smook notes that acid mine drainage, water system pollution, and the lack of a holistic approach to water security are some of the key issues that make 84% of the country's 112 unique river ecosystems being classified as threatened.
The rivers and our river ecosystems are our lifeblood. I think currently about 80%, just more than 80% of rivers in South Africa for our river ecosystems are endangered, and I think about 44% are critically endangered. That means that our ecosystems are dying. If we look at what we use water for, it's for human needs, for economic growth in the environment. In South African situation, the environment is extremely damaged. If we can't look after the environment, how are we going to ensure that there will be enough water available for food production, for people, for sanitation, for water services?
According to Smook, the South African government has a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit while it has to grow and maintain the water infrastructure, among other things, over the next 10 years.
We've only got 332 billion, so we've got less than half of the money that we need to secure water over the next 10 years. So somewhere, someone will not get what our Bill of Rights says is human rights, food, water, and a safe environment. We don't have that. It doesn't look like we're getting it. So it's about money and investment, and it's about people, getting the right people in the right position, technically competent engineers and financial managers in local government.
Also a concerning issue in South Africa is the nation's threatened wetlands, for without them there will be no water. Wetlands are water factories in that they have a direct effect on the quantity and quality of water resources. According to the South African Biodiversity Institute's assessment, the first to assess the country's wetland systems critically, they are the most endangered ecosystems. The assessment reveals that South Africa has already lost about 50% of its original wetland area, and only 11% of what remains is well protected, while 71% is not protected at all. Elaborating more on the situation around wetlands is Andrew Zalumis, Chief Executive Officer of a World Heritage Site, Isemangaliso, based at the country's port city of Durban.
In South Africa alone, wetlands make up less than 2.4% of the land of South Africa, and of those that remain, 65% are threatened, and 71% of them have no protection. When a wetland gets drained or planted out with commercial plantations illegally in South Africa, communities ultimately suffer because they don't have water, their cattle can't graze, they can't go and get reeds to build houses, they can't go take nyama, which is a type of rush, to do traditional mats. So wetlands actually affect people whether they're living in rural areas or they're living in cities.
Last month, WaterAid released a report which indicated that access to safe water in sub-Saharan Africa remains a critical problem. WaterAid is an international charity which transforms lives by improving access to safe water, hygiene and sanitation in the world's poorest communities. The Keeping Promises synthesis document called upon governments to live up to their commitments to ensure that citizens are rightfully provided with safe water. Nelson Komonda is the organization's spokesperson based in Malawi.
Lack of safe water and sanitation costs Africa about 400,000 lives of children annually, and if you are to calculate it, maybe per hour it comes to 46 children dying as a result of diseases that are caused by lack of safe water and sanitation. Even when you calculate the economic costs in schools, you find that there is a high dropout rate, particularly for children that maybe in their stages of menstruation. One would say, in short, that the economic costs and even the social costs for Africa are quite enormous. And the World Health Organization estimated that Africa loses about 5% of its gross domestic product each year. And if we calculate this, taking into account the figures of 2010, it means Africa is losing about 55.6 billion annually due to lack of safe water and sanitation. And that's how serious this problem is, at least for the sub-Saharan Africa.
In commemoration of World Water Day, South Africa, both the government and the citizens are urged to realize and take into account the nation's water scarcity as a problem that needs to be urgently addressed.